Hello, happy Monday.
Hello, how are you doing,
I'm
Queen?
good. I'm good. Are we doing like voice only video?
No, you don't have to turn your camera on.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Just want to respect your platform.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. But so what is your what is your take on um men and women being in relationships but saying that they have a quote unquote best friend of the opposite sex? And do you believe that, majority of men and women can have genuine platonic relationships?
Okay. So I guess that's two questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So to your second question, can men and women have platonic relationships? The answer is yes, they can. However, is that 100% of the case? No, it's not, but they can. To answer your first question,
Okay,
in
ma'am,
order
ma'am,
to
I'm sorry. Let me say this again, because
okay,
we know we know nothing is absolute. So we're not talking about 100% of
yeah,
this
but
or
I'm saying that the answer is yes. So if
okay,
you're
but
asking
I
me,
but I asked you, I was very specific. I said, do you think the majority of men and women can have genuine platonic relationships? Majority. I didn't
and the
say if they
answer
could or if
is
they couldn't. I
yes.
said majority. Okay.
I'm going to say it in English and Spanish. It's sí, señor.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The answer is for me, it's yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that
fine.
was two questions. So I answered your second question. And the answer is, I think somebody, Queenie is saying it's a yes or no. So I'm going to say yes. Queenie, I can see you in the comments. So I'm just letting you know the answer for me is yes. JT says yes as well. But a few folks aren't agreeing with me, and they're women as well. And so I want to say to that, it depends on the person and their mentality. Now, the reason why I'm going to say the majority is yes is because we have platonic relationships with people on a regular basis that does not include sexual activity. But we're going to focus solely on this male best friend to a woman and a female best friend to a man. Okay? So
Mhm.
if you know who you are and you know that you are a genuine person, for instance, Big Noble, I've never met you before, but if I were to meet you face to face in the flesh and you gave me some information, I would trust that whatever you tell me is the truth. So if you're telling me that you and this young lady have been friends since elementary school, she's your best friend, y'all been knowing each other since she was knee high to a kite, I have to trust that I have chosen someone who is so secure with their manhood that they don't have to cheat on me in order to validate anything. So, yes, it's true. You can have a female friend and still be in a relationship with the woman. That woman should not be insecure. She don't know if that friend got the hook up on the welfare, the stamps, the discounts, the job. So you can't just say, "Oh, I'm dating you now." You can't talk to your friend from elementary school anymore. I think that's a limited way of thinking. There are boundaries that are in place when it comes to trying to have a female or a male best friend. And it's because you have to have respect for yourself. You have to have respect for the other person too, to say to yourself, I cherish this relationship I have with Big Noble so much that I won't even allow sex or physical attraction to interfere. So that's my point on it. And I don't think a lot of people think the way that I think. They may say yes and then have a different answer as to why they chose yes. And they may say no and say the exact same reasons I say. But if you have respect of self and respect for other people, you're not worried about whether or not they're telling the truth. Now, if you find out they were dishonest and they was fucking their best friend all this time, then that's just their loss. They lost a great person in you. But I'll never feel like I need to be insecure or question if the guy I'm dating has a friend that they've known for X amount of years prior to knowing me, if I can trust that they're not going to be fucking behind my back or not. So that's me. I'm very secure in myself. I'm very secure in myself. And I trust people. I respect people. So that's why I don't have any fear of this.
Okay, but so Miss Queen, where I want to be clear, just because I don't want to misconstrue what you said, and I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not talking about a man or a woman being in a relationship and not being able to have friends of the opposite sex. Like people should be able to have friends of the opposite sex, especially if, like you said, these people existed in this person's life before you existed in their life. My whole thing is, as a woman, if you're going to be in a relationship, if you're going to be in a relationship, an intimate relationship with a man, why is your man not your best friend? Like, and as a
Who
man, if
said
you're
he's
going,
not?
one second. As a
Okay.
woman, if you're going to be in a relationship with an intimate relate, as a man, if you're going to be in an intimate relationship with a woman, why would that woman not be your best friend? Like why would you be married as a man or a woman, and your partner, your wife or your husband, why would they not be your best friend and somebody else be your best friend?
Okay, so to answer that question, I'm going to do it solely with the question, but it's hypothetical and it does not require you to answer. But you're saying, why can't my husband be my best friend? Why? Who says he's not my best friend?
Ma'am, listen to me again.
I
I
heard
just
you.
okay. You what with what you just said? You didn't hear me. What I just said was, if a man or woman is married and in a relationship, why would
Hmm.
another man or woman be their best friend? So what I am indirectly saying is, your partner, your husband or your wife should be your best friend. So why
And
would
I
why
and
would
I
another
agree
man or
with
woman be your
you.
best friend?
That's my way of agreeing with you. If I'm
Okay.
married to someone and that's my husband, they're definitely my fucking best friend. So we're gonna talk about which came first, the cart or the horse. Are you saying that this friend came first? Are you saying this husband came first? That's my inquiry about it, because I can understand you saying I've been married to this girl for 2 years and then last week she came home talking about she got a brand new best male friend. Now that's very sus. But if
Right.
you're talking about, okay, this girl and I just started dating and her and this dude been friends for however many years, then I think there needs to be some type of consideration for that, especially if there are boundaries in place. You know what I'm saying? If they on some call you at 2 in the morning stuff, then that's disrespectful, which is goes
Right.
back to what I said initially. There has to be respect. You understand what I'm saying? You can have a male best friend, but if you're not respecting your partner, yourself, you know what I mean, then that's going to be the issue. But yes, you can have it, but there has to be so much respect that you already know what direction to piss shoot when they sit on the toilet. Like, it's got to be very clear. So I don't think that it's impossible. I think that there just has to be a level of respect when it comes to it. Certain boundaries in place. You need to be aware of what's going on. It don't need to be no secret. Like, oh, I just found out this her best friend and I had no clue. No, I mean, if she's coming to you in the day, everything's in the light, I don't see why you couldn't, and vice versa. The same with the man. If a man had a female best friend, I don't see why the woman should be insecure about that either. It's not a one-way street.
Uh, okay, so I understand what you're saying, but I think where could you please mute? You got some background coming in. When I'm done, I'll let you know so you can speak. I hear what you're saying, but I just think and we might disagree on this, and this is okay. I don't think it's insecure for a man to feel what's good, Kev. I don't think it's insecure for a man to feel some type of way or have certain inquiries about a woman that he's dating, or a woman that he's in a relationship with, having a quote unquote best friend of the opposite sex and vice versa. Um, like Steve Harvey said, like the other video that I played, and men just know this in general. Any man that's gonna sit here and say that what I'm about to say is not true is just being disingenuous. Most men will stick around and be a woman's quote unquote friend for years upon end, all in hopes that one day, like the woman will crack the door open and like let them through. And so and I say that to say, being that men know that men operate like that, but women also operate like that as well. There's a lot of women that, they feel some sort of way about their guy having an abundance of female friends or a female quote unquote best friend, because that's just how men and women operate. That's just how human beings operate. So I'm done. Do you still see that as insecure?
So you're asking me, is it insecure to not be able to trust people? Is that pretty much the summary of your question?
I'm asking you is are men and women knowing how a lot of other men and women operate and knowing that they will stick around and be somebody's friend and be playing a role until one day, hopefully something changes. Are they insecure for, being cautious or being mindful of that?
No, that's not insecure of being mindful or cautious that deception is gender neutral. That's not insecure. That's called being wise. However, the insecurity begins when you demand that her network be adjusted for the sake of a relationship. So that's where the insecurity comes in. So I don't think it's got anything to do with the first, but when you start, oh, you can't talk to her no more. I don't want her calling your phone ever.
Right.
That's the insecurity.
No, I 100%, I 100% agree. I 100% agree with you on that. Um, but I mean, even if that's not going on though. Okay, okay, let's say, okay, like you acknowledged earlier, and like I also acknowledged. Let's say you and I are friends, right? Let's say you and I are really good friends, and
Mm-hmm.
and I get in a relationship. I'm going to expect you to like fall back some. And when I say fall back, that don't mean that like I'm going to completely desert you or that you're going to completely desert me. But we're not going to be able to have as much communication and maybe hang out with each other as much as we did before.
Well,
But
let's put this on. If you don't mind me
go
interjecting
ahead.
that, and it's to piggyback on what you're saying, it's not a debate. I'm agreeing with you. If we were best friends and solely best friends with respectful boundaries in place prior to your relationship, you already know I'm not calling you after 10 p.m. unless it's a 911 and you know that I'm not going to show up to your house with nothing but a trench coat and some, Fenty or some shit like that. We don't do that to each other. We are friends. We already have those boundaries established prior to the relationship. It's almost as if you're like friends without the like coworkers in a sense. Like you might fuck with them, you might happy hour with them, but they not spending the night at your house.
Right.
So that's what I wanted to say as far as piggybacking off that. If me and you are good, really good friends, and this happens to me in real life, and because of the type of person I am, and my friends knowing who I am, if they get into committed relationships, everybody's invited to dinner. You know what I mean? I don't just continue hanging with my friend and solely my friend. I'm inviting my friend and his partner, my friend and her partner. Hey, we're all getting together for dinner, drinks, everything's on me. Pull up. Whether you come or not, that's up to you. But the invitation no longer is we're still friends. Me and you, Mick Noble, we're good buddies. But hey, bring your girl. So that's how I roll because I have those respectful boundaries. That's why I know that this is possible. I know it's possible to have male best friends that you never have sex with or intercourse with or anything like that. I've been there, done that. So as far as all people can they do it? I don't agree that all people can do it. Deception is gender neutral. Anybody can deceive you. And but I do think it's wise to be cautious, to pay attention to the signs, and establish those boundaries early on without showing signs of insecurity. And that's it.
Okay. Do you have a good amount of men in your life right now that you consider to be your friend?
I do. I actually do.
Okay.
That I've never been platonic with. So I'm a content creator as well, right? I do a lot of media. I do a lot of technology. And then the areas of my work, the type of work that I do is very male driven. So I'm always surrounded by men. And a lot of those men over time have become good friends. Now, I will be honest and say I've had some friends in the past where once they got married, I only see them like every Christmas or something like that. Things changed, people move and things like that. But as far as like current day right now, I do still have a lot of male friends in my life that I can, consider friends. I know their wives, I know their children. Nobody's worried about what me and them are doing in the room if we're by ourselves. We've already created those boundaries early on.
Okay. I asked you that because I wanted to ask you, and I don't know how old you are, but I mean, you seem like you're grown. I wanted to ask you from your experience with men throughout your life, um, have most of the men that you've had any sort of interaction with only genuinely wanted to just exclusively be your friend, or have more men so actually try to be more than a friend with you? And please be 100% honest.
Okay, so to make sure I understand the question correctly, you're wanting me to let you know, have I ever had any male friends who pretended to be friends and I found out later they was just trying to smash?
No, ma'am, I'm not asking you
Okay,
if
I'm
you
sorry. I
I'm not
misunderstood.
I'm not asking you if you've had any. I'm sure you've had plenty. What I am asking you is, has that been the experience most of the time? Have most men that you've had interactions with only exclusively wanted to be your friend, or have most of the men that you've had interactions with wanted to be more than your friend? That's what I'm asking you.
Okay, the answer is the latter, the second. If you gave me like option A and option B, it would be option B. So I'm a very beautiful.
You just went on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
You just went.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
You're just getting an echo now. Did you get a phone call?
Yeah. Oh yeah, somebody trying to call me. I think I denied it.
Okay, you're good now.
Can you hear me now? All
Yeah, I
right,
can hear
cool.
you.
My bad about that. But no, I was just saying that I'm a very beautiful woman. So yes, for option B, a lot more men have tried to come at me on an intimate or romantic type level than on a friendship level. That would be the case.
Okay, so I
But
I
so have
asked I
women.
Okay, but I asked you that. I asked you that because the truth is that is the experience for most women. What the experience for most women is even guys that have try to make it seem like they were like only trying to be a woman's friend, or like they were just cool. It eventually came a time, whether it was early on or in the near future, or even later on, that they were trying to be more than friends. I'm gonna have the vision speak in a sec, but let me play something that my friend said the other night for you. Okay, let me play this for you. And Noble knows this. I am delusional support system. What do you mean? So why y'all just on your part about dependency? But I'm gonna sit up here and I'm gonna be realistic with you. If I've ever been friends with a guy, it's because he's gay, or it's because I've wanted to get with him, but I had to shelf him for a little bit, or it's because I'm bored, right? And he is not attractive to me. And even then, I consider them acquaintances. I don't have validating male friendships other than with people who I share very little things with, and they're kind of gay, okay? Like, it doesn't work out that way. I'm friends with girls. If I'm going to complain about stuff, who am I going to go to? I'm going to go to someone who has a similar experience to me. That is not a man. Every male friend I've ever had has tried to hook up with me. That is a simple fact. The only ones who haven't are the ones who I respect their relationships and I'm not friends with them. I'm only friends with them from a distance. Like, you mean to tell me right now that you, as a straight 23-year-old man, because I know you're 23, you're not going to take your relationship seriously. Like, as seriously as you would at 27, 28, 29, 30, right? Realistically speaking, because you're young. So let me ask you a question, Queen Banshee. If so, there's 10 men that find you to be physically attractive, and so out of those 10 men that find you to be physically attractive, realistically, how many of those men do you think exclusively want to just be your friend out of those 10 men?
I mean, that's a real hard question. Like, are there any other valuables? I mean, variables? Or you just want me to like give you an estimate of what I've experienced?
Let me say this again. There are 10 men that find you to be physically attractive. How many of those 10 men do you think only exclusively want to be your friend. So whether they want whether you think that there's a number of them that will actually want to like be your girl or be your boyfriend one day, possibly become your husband one day. If you think that there are a certain amount of them that they might sleep with you if given the opportunity. What I'm asking you is how many of those 10 men that find you physically attractive do you think exclusively only want to be your friend? They would, if you, even if you gave them an opportunity to sleep with you, they wouldn't do it. Just give me a number.
I'm gonna say all 10 of them. All 10 of them.
What's your serious answer?
Oh yeah, because it's getting serious in here, baby. Good gracious. Alrighty, so I mean, the answer would probably be like five. Honestly, I
You,
would give
you
it half and half.
so
Half
you
of them do, half of them don't. It's like everybody don't think the same. There's some men in committed relationships that have boundaries to not disrespect their wives. I don't know about you if you're married or not, but I would hope that if you are in a committed relationship,
ma'am.
a man finds.
We're not talking about men that are in relationships. Okay, let me be very specific.
Oh, okay.
All 10 of these men are single
So
and they
that's the
find you to
single.
be physically attractive. I'm asking you if all you know that all 10 of these men find you to be physically attractive, how many of those men, and they're all single, they're all able to do whatever they want to do. How many of those 10 men do you think will only exclusively want to be your friend?
Like I said before, I'm gonna go with half of them. I'm
Okay.
still gonna go with half of them. I don't think every man want every woman, and vice versa. So that's just the way it is from what the type of work that I've experienced with men, experiences with them in like personal settings, professional settings. About half of.
Okay. Queen Von Chi, I appreciate you being up here. Okay, you have a good rest of your
Hmm.
day. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I let Division speak, she just said that she believes 5 out of 10 men that find her physically attractive and would and are all single would actually just only want to be her friend and nothing more than that.
I disagree.
Yeah, I know, Queenie. I'm gonna let you speak, but I'm gonna have Division speak for